Okay, so let's jump right in with 7 reasons why narcissism seems more prevalent nowadays. Number one, we're living in a digital culture and it makes narcissistic behavior look normal. Social media rewards image, status, validation, and attention. Dating apps reward low accountability, instant gratification, endless options, ghosting, and highlight real personas. You're seeing people through a filter, literally and psychologically, which can create the appearance of grandiosity, vanity, and self-centeredness everywhere you look. And it might be there. But narcissism, or at least true narcissism, also involves lack of empathy, entitlement, and exploitation. And if you've lived through narcissistic abuse, you know that it's way more than the self-focused behavior that we're all seeing online. Reason number 2 is a cheating culture, which makes narcissistic choices so much easier. In the past, cheating required a lot more effort, planning, and real-world opportunities. Today, technology gives people constant access to attention, validation, and temptation. Old flames pop up on Facebook, boundaries blur on Instagram, emotional affairs start in what look like innocent work chats. And because access is so easy and consequences are not immediate, people make impulsive, self-serving decisions that are narcissistic. However, cheating doesn't automatically mean the person is a narcissist. Often these choices come from immaturity, avoidance, and insecurity rather than a full-blown personality disorder. Number 3, modern parenting has shifted dramatically. And it's not just parents who are clearing all obstacles and sheltering kids. It's teachers, coaches, and authority figures creating comfort and constant validation. And this is a huge shift compared to how many of us grew up. When I was a kid, parents were authoritative, disciplinarian, and often heavy-handed both physically and psychologically. I can't tell you how many times I heard, "Stop your crying or I'll give you something to cry about." And it was often followed by a backhand or a kick in the ass. And that was normal. Now, I'm not saying it was healthy or good, but it created a generation of parents who overcorrected in the opposite direction. Snowplow and helicopter parenting came from a place of love, of not wanting to do what our parents did to us. But the long-term effect can be entitlement, low frustration.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's 2026. The voice of reason back in the building, ready to get it going once again. You already know what it is. You already know how I do. Come on, I got to press you. At the beginning of 2025, we did a topic on narcissism. I said we're going to do another topic on narcissism at the beginning of 2026. But this is a slightly different kind of narcissistic topic. The narcissistic paradox, right? It is not the narcissist's fault. This fascinating exploration delves into the reasons behind our love and inexplicable attraction to egocentricity in others. The narcissistic paradox. Why we keep calling it them when it is us also. I'm interested to know, why are we fascinated by narcissists or narcissistic traits? Are they that confident that you believe they are good people? Do they have that much charisma and swagger that they are somehow irresistible? Entertaining? Right? Intriguing? The most interesting man or woman alive. Is that what it is? It's not just the narcissist. Why do we fawn over the narcissist? Right? Or over narcissistic traits? Tonight's show is not about narcissists. Tonight's show is about the narcissistic paradox. The fact that we keep saying the problem is them when the issue also lives within us, in our attachment wiring or our nervous systems, our culture, our spiritual cravings, and our private incentives. Listen, if somebody paid your bills, would you deal with their narcissism? If somebody took all of the worries away from you, would you deal with them like, all right, fine, just take care of everything? Would that be enough? Come on, let's stop pretending. If narcissists cause the entire problem by themselves, then they would not keep getting invited back into our lives. Why do we invite them back into our lives? 1-800-920-1580. Get to your phone lines. Get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready. The voice of reason back again for 2026, ready to cook. People do not merely run into egocentric partners or egocentric partners. People orbit them. Why do good people orbit quote-unquote toxic people? We're not here to pathologize narcissists. But why do so-called good people or victims of narcissistic abuse, why do they orbit those types of folk? Right? People do not merely run into egocentric partners. They orbit them. People stay, right? People explain. People spiritualize. That's a big piece. People romanticize. And then people act surprised when the outcome matches the design. So here's the controversial question that will offend your ego immediately. What if the narcissist functions less like a villain and more like a psychological tool you keep selecting? Not because you lack intelligence, but because your system has incentives. What are the incentives that keeps an egocentric person in our lives? What do they bring to the table that makes our lives better? No, this is deep tonight. 1-800-920-1580. I want to know from you. Clinically, your body does not chase what feels healthy. Your body chases what is recognizable, what feels recognizable, what feels familiar, right? If early love requires performance, vigilance, or emotional guessing, now when we say early love, we're talking about early childhood. That's what we're talking about, right? If early love requires performance, vigilance, or emotional guessing, then adult chemistry can turn into a biological misread. Arousal, for instance, can get labeled as intimacy. A cortisol spike gets baptized as destiny. You call it sparks, your nervous system might call it threat-based activation, right? And spirituality, oh my goodness. This is where the game gets hella slick. You call it karmic. Ooh, you call it karmic. You call it fate. You call it a lesson. You call it a mirror. You call it shadow work. Or you might even call it growth. But if the spiritual story removes accountability, then it becomes anesthesia, an anesthetic, right? Not an awakening. Pain becomes proof, endurance becomes holiness, self-erasure becomes some type of twisted maturity, I guess. Right? That is not transcendence. Right? That is a metaphysical costume over a nervous system that really never learned what safety actually is. So on tonight's Voice of Reason, we ask the question nobody wants to answer. This is hard. What's the payoff? Right? Dr. Phil would say, what's your payoff? What's the payoff, man? Why are you doing this to yourself? What's the payoff? What payoff do you protect when you keep choosing someone who humiliates you? And why do you defend that payoff as love instead of addiction? Right? Because the narcissistic partner offers what your unresolved parts craved. Now, what are your unresolved parts? Is this the orphaned you that was orphaned by you? I'm interested to know. 1-800-920-1580. Is this the part of you that you run from, that you can't face? I'm interested to know. 1-800-920-1580. Right? The narcissistic partners offer what your unresolved parts crave. What is that? They may offer certainty when you do not trust yourself. Is that why a narcissistic partner appears to be attractive? Because they're some type of caretaker to you? I'm interested to know. They offer dominance when you fear equal responsibility. I'm going to let them handle it. If you fear equal responsibility, I guess you're looking for dominance or looking to be dominated, right? They offer intermittent reward that trains your dopamine like a slot machine. I don't know if I don't want this from anybody. Intermittent reward, that means you're going to reward me sometime and then ignore me other time. I don't want that. They offer drama that keeps you too busy to sit in stillness, because stillness would bring grief, and grief would demand adulthood. 1-800-920-1580. I'm interested to know, why are we so attracted to narcissistic type folk? Right? Did Drake have a narcissistic injury when Kendrick destroyed him? Was that a narcissistic injury, going to sue over a rap battle? You just couldn't take a L? Narcissists don't like to lose. They can't lose. They can't be wrong. They can't be corrected. Why are we attracted to these types of people? Listen to what I'm saying. They offer drama. And I'm not saying Drake is a narcissist. I'm just saying that looked really weird. But we're attracted to these people. We put them on a pedestal. They become superstars, right? Read that again, Zoe. They offer drama that keeps you too busy to sit in stillness, because stillness would bring grief, and grief would demand adulthood. Wow. This is the part that will trigger the healed people. Many of you do not fear narcissists. You fear reciprocity. Reciprocity demands presence. It demands repair. It demands boundaries. It demands that you stop hiding behind your empathy, stop performing goodness, stop using suffering as your identity, and stop calling chaos passion. Right? Because if calm feels boring, then calm threatens your identity. Calm threatens your story. Calm forces the question, who are you without the treadmill? Why do we like toxic people? Why are they so sexy, so addictive, so alluring, so mysterious? I want to know. 1-800-920-1580. The voice of reason is on complete fire. When I come forward, we're going to keep this fire lit.
With two parents that stayed together, and one of them had narcissistic tendencies. Let's say you had a mom that told you how you need to be, did not hear any of your feelings, did not celebrate your emotions, shamed you, those kind of things. If you had one parent that was like that, and another parent that stayed with that person, often the other parent we look at and go, they were wonderful, but the first parent was all bad and off. But one thing I want to point out is that other parent had to become some type of passive or quiet or not share their feelings. You might be like, mom was a crazy narcissist, but dad was so soft and peaceful. But what you might not know is dad didn't stand up for himself and often didn't stand up for you too. When you have that parental dynamic, you can trick yourself into a passive-aggressive person is safe and a person that feels their emotions is dangerous. You still deserve someone that feels their emotions, but in a safe way. So do not associate feeling emotions as dangerous, especially if they do it in a safe way.
Wow, who is that? Who is that? Kyle Cease, yet again. My team is reaching out to Kyle. We're going to get him on the Voice of Reason for 2026. I promise you. We're going after him. We're going after everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, man. KBLA, Zoe Williams, the VOR. We're going to continue hitting you upside your dome piece on your way home from Jones Beach with this type of content. I want us to value relationships differently, but I do believe we have to get deeper. We have to peel the layers back a little further and stop being so reluctant to go to the deep end of the pool. Relationships should not be just vacations and whipped cream. It should be more. It should be more than just sex and martinis. You understand? So we've got callers on the line. And I want to get the callers in here because we're talking about our seemingly inexplicable attraction to people with narcissistic traits, narcissistic tendencies, or even narcissists outright. Why are they so attractive? Ladies, brothers, call in and share your story. I got callers on the line. I want to get them in right now. Nikki from the SIP, Mississippi in the house. Nikki, what are your thoughts on tonight's topic?
Brother Zoe and the fam.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. I got answers.
I'm listening. Give me the answers.
On December 19th, I sent you something to listen to.
Mm-hmm.
It's from a psychologist from Africa, and he's talking about firstborn daughters, but he addresses this issue of why we like narcissists.
Mm.
And you got to go back and hear that.
I'm going to go back and I'm going to go back.
It's so important. I promise. I even said you and Precious got to do a thing off of just that.
Mm.
But what he said about narcissists rang the gong. That's why I sent it to you.
Mm.
Narcissists have the energy to carry what you're talking about.
Oh.
And because they stay unemotional or they're not attached to the other person emotionally, it looks attractive. I mean, think about it. If you take all the humanity away, which is basically what we do.
Mm-hmm.
If you're in crisis, even if you are a somewhat healed person, and the weight, EIGHT, of daily living has got you, especially if you were a female, one of the things you want is to be rescued or to find a place to put whatever the weight is you're carrying.
Mm.
And a narcissist can do that because they got energy like that.
I like this. Keep going. I'm listening. Yes.
And because we are so conditioned societally away from the humanity part of things, we are driven in the direction of relief.
Wow. So wait a minute.
I'm telling you.
Wait,
go listen to
hold on. You telling me the narcissist provides some type of relief?
Absolutely.
Is it like a trade-off? Is it really relief or is it just a trade-off? Don't answer that.
It's a trade-off.
Stay right there. Don't go nowhere. When we come forward, Nikki from the SIP done set us on fire. If you want to join the discussion, you already know the protocol. 1-800-920-1580. Let's get it.
Some people aren't talking to you because they're tired of talking to you. It's not because they haven't had a conversation with you previously, okay? It's not because they're holding a grudge or giving you the silent treatment or expecting you to just figure it out. No. At some point in time, these people may have recognized in previous conversations, them talking to you is not going to change your character. And whatever conversation they're having with you is not the same one you're having with yourself. And it shows. There's one thing we don't talk about enough is the emotional and mental fatigue that comes with talking to a person who has no desire or will to change. And also the subtle manipulation that might be present in that, okay? There's a difference between conflict resolution that people are preaching about and character deflection that people are not saying out loud, okay? There's performative diplomacy. You know, people who are going around saying, well, you should just be able to talk to me. Tell me what I did wrong, okay? Or if you don't tell me, I don't know. Or if you don't tell me, we don't have a problem, or I can't stand non-confrontational people. And if you listen a little bit closer, they are always expecting or demanding that the other person comes and does the work. They treat another person's problem like a PowerPoint presentation or a case that they now have to defend. You have to present the case, present evidence. All I have to do is sit back and confirm or deny. See, people have recognized you are not a safe space because when they do address an issue, well, you become combative. Or you deflect, use Darvo tactics. Now you're the victim, okay? Or you drudge up your own transgressions. And now they walk away confused like they've been talking to themselves the entire time. You are not safety. All right? And let's be clear. There is some validity to addressing an issue because sometimes people may not know what they've done wrong. However, we are adults. We have been around for a very long time, which means that to some degree, we know exactly how we move through the world.
That's Isaiah Furselli. He's always cooking with the rarest grease. He just ran through that really quickly. He mentioned Darvo. Darvo, deny, attack, reverse, victim, and offender, right? That's what D-A-R-V-O, Darvo, deny, attack, reverse, victim, and offender. This is a narcissistic tactic that is used quite often to gaslight and, just manipulate and Listen, let's do the work tonight. You know why relationships are not working? Because many of us are intimate strategists. We're intimate strategists because we're inherently insecure. Okay? Okay, we got to stop putting the onus just on the narcissist. There is a dance between narcissists, come on now, and who else? Codependents. Yeah. They have a relationship like two entangled particles. Einstein called those two entangled particles spooky action at a distance. He didn't believe that something can move faster than the speed of light. It was proven that those two particles, when you change one, the other one changes almost instantaneously. They're entangled across billions of light years. They can be entangled across billions of light years. And when one changes, the other one can change instantaneously and does change instantaneously, right? The narcissist and the codependent are orbiting each other. Why are we attracted to the narcissist? We are a victim-based culture. We so want attention, we want validation, but we also want to blame when it doesn't go right. Why are we attracted in the first place? Nikki from the SIP was cooking and giving us some good insight on this. Nikki, can you finish?
Well, if the answer to your question is both. It's a trade-off, for sure, for one. And for the other person in this equation, because if I'm the person that needs to offload it somewhere, it's a trade-off for me because I know you're a narcissist and you're not emotionally attached. But you got the energy to carry whatever it is for me, even for a little while. So you have codependency, you got transactional going on all the time. And you have to remember, too, most of us don't recognize codependent behaviors in ourselves.
Wow. We're totally oblivious to it.
Right, because we aren't conditioned to think about those behaviors within ourselves. You can see it out here somewhere, other folks, but not inwardly.
Right.
So it makes sense that, you need to put whatever the it is, and then you run into the energy that can hold whatever your it is, then it becomes attractive to you.
Wow.
Food for thought.
I love it. And I love you. You brought in 2026 with a bang. You already know who it is. It's Nikki from The Sip. Nikki, guess what you just did?
I brought the sip in the building, and I still love everybody.
Whoop, whoop. If you want to bring your city in the building, the VOR is taking 2026 calls. Again, I'm going to say it again. Culturally, we live in a world that rewards self-promotion and confuses visibility with value. We live in attention economies that amplify confidence theater, not emotional attunement. So even if narcissism is not rising in some clean generational way, exposure, tolerance, and reward for grandiosity absolutely have. That means you are not just dating individuals, you are dating an entire culture that trained people to brand themselves and call it authenticity. That's my brand, You know what? Being with you is off-brand for me. So tonight's conversation is not how do I spot a narcissist, right? That's child level work. Tonight's conversation is what part of you needs the narcissist to remain coherent to yourself? What part of you stays, right? The good one. So you never have to set a boundary, 1-800-920-1580. What part of you calls disrespect a challenge so you can keep pursuing? I'm asking you, why do you want the narcissist? Or those who have narcissistic tendencies. 1-800-920-1580. Get to your phone lines. What part of you confuses intensity with meaning because ordinary presence would force you to face yourself? Oh, you're boring. You're not even interesting. See, you need interesting so you don't settle down in a quiet moment and find a piece of yourself that you misplaced on purpose. That's why you need excitement, movement. What are we doing? Where are we going? I know we went somewhere last night, but we need to go somewhere this morning. And then we need to go somewhere this evening. What part of you uses spiritual language to keep pain above evaluation? No, that was supposed to happen and it couldn't have happened any other way. Did you see the oak tree? The wind was blowing to the left. This has to happen the way it happened. No. Look at yourself. Don't look for justifications for why you co-create a reality you claim you don't want. This show is a truth threshold test. We are going to separate desire from dysregulation, love from adrenaline, compassion from self-betrayal, spiritual depth from disassociation. Come on, and chemistry from childhood rehearsal. Most of you are in a reenactment and you don't even know it. You don't know why you're reenacting what broke you in the first place. But because it's familiar, you don't mind being broken again. Because the paradox ends only when you stop asking, why are there so many narcissists? First off, why are you attracted to them? What incentives keeps me in proximity to ego, to unchecked ego? Ask yourself, ladies, what are the incentives that keeps you in proximity to unchecked ego? I always get the bad boy. I always get the negative one. Why? No mindfulness, no self-introspection. The Scientologists might call it self-auditing. No self-auditing. We're not doing none of it. What are we doing? What identity dies if you choose to love yourself first? I know if you feel offended right now, good. I'm talking about your relationship. I know so many people that are having those kinds of relationships. What payoff do you protect when you keep choosing someone who humiliates you? And why do you defend that payoff as love rather than addiction? When you call the relationship karmic or fated, what accountability do you attempt to evade, and what fear do you silence through that label? Which part of you treats emotional starvation as proof of depth? And how did your upbringing train you to worship scarcity? When I come forward, I'm going to the phone line. One of my favorite callers is back in the house. You already know what it is. We got to set up some special music for it. When we come forward, we about to keep the fire lit.
History teaches us that most people are only ever a small nudge away from being able to abuse, torture, and murder other human beings. We only need a reason to be evil. As the writer Aldous Huxley put it, the surest way to work up a crusade in favour of some good cause is to promise people that they will have the chance of maltreating someone. This is known as the cruelty of moral indignation. Nietzsche once argued that there will always be some people in the background of a community who will take great pleasure in some insatiable outburst of violence, all in the name of some holy or justifiable revenge. They will see that some imagined offence and take great pleasure in harming other people because they will see it as a kind of justice. Huxley takes this idea further because he says that these moral crusaders will find no problem in recruiting others to their cause. Because there is an element of righteous sadism to many people that needs only the slightest fuel to take flame. As Huxley put it, to be able to destroy with good conscience is the most delicious of moral treats.
Wow.
And so the manipulative will play these emotions easily. They will label something quite obviously cruel as being for the greater good, and they will shed crocodile tears at some sad but unavoidable harm we need to do other people to reach some utopia. The road to Eden will be paved by the bodies of dead enemies and the mutilated other. Beware those who seem to love the cruelty of moral indignation. They do not seek a better world, they seek only the pleasure of punishment.
Wow, who was that? Johnny Thompson? Yo. Hey, man, listen, the voice of reason, we're doing it again. If you thought 2025 was fire, yes, relationships are more difficult than you thought. They're more nuanced than you thought. They're richer than you thought. You are just in the shallow end of intimacy when everything gotta be good. Your relationships are imbalanced when you don't want no drama, when your peace shouldn't be disturbed. Listen, you're playing intimate games trying to strategize to maintain that. Relationships are about ebb and flow. And who you are when the ebb is ebbing is going to tell me who you're not when the flow is flowing. You're only here for the flow. You're here for the liquidation sale. You're not here for the ebb. The real person, right? Oh, man, the real person will bring the ebb out of you. You know, the parts of yourself that you buried. Woo, the narcissistic paradox. Why we keep calling it them when it is also us. Let's get something straight immediately. The obsession with narcissists has become a cultural sleight of hand. We talk about them endlessly, diagnose them, demonize them, meme them, podcast them. Yet, we almost never integrate the quieter, more disturbing question underneath all the noise. Why do so many people keep choosing them? Not accidentally, not unknowingly, not once, but repeatedly. This is the narcissistic paradox. Why do we keep choosing them when they're problematic? The real scandal is not that egocentric people exist. They always have. The scandal is that entire relational ecosystems organize themselves around people with narcissistic tendencies or narcissists themselves, and then pretend shock when the outcome looks exactly like the design. Modern culture loves the idea of a narcissism epidemic because it offers a clean villain. It lets us point outward instead of inward. It allows moral posturing without self-examination. Or so relationships shouldn't be this difficult. It should just be easy. It's never easy when we're all coming from some level of insecurity, some level of brokenness. Where there's insecurity and brokenness, there will be manipulation, because that's what you had to do to the people who broke you initially in order to get their attention, in order to get their love, in order to get their attunement. And you took it into your adult relationships. Could this be an answer to why we give audience to narcissistic tendencies and traits? 1-800-920-1580. One of my favorite callers is in the building. I want to get him in here right now. Right now. Ladies and gentlemen, from the city of Champions.
I should be in correctly. Yes. Oh, man, you know, Nikki from this. That's right, man. Love, all love. New year and some new heat.
Yes,
man,
sir.
You coming with plasma.
Come on.
Starting off with the plasma.
Come on.
You know.
It's only going to get
man,
worse.
I don't know. No, your worse is better, brother. You on some straight up as shoe
yes.
truth healing. You got the saber out, the bow and arrow, the ball and chain. All of them hitting their target. Look at your mirror, or else. I don't want to look at my mirror, so you're going to look at these mirrors tonight.
Come on, Leroy.
Well, it's wrong, baby. It's wrong. What you say? I think you're very key on making sure at least once a week you remind us that Carl Jung made a point to acknowledge the lengths to which people will go out of their way to not truly see themselves. They will project. I'm talking about your mama, your pastor, your deacon, your teacher, your professor. They will project stuff on everybody else to not deal with self in the most intimate of ways. All right. And these might be some of your most accomplished people. I think you just had on Huxley. You were quoting Huxley, right? Ayn Rand, Machiavelli. These folks are sensational at getting to the depths of psychopathy and narcissism and the traits that go with them. But they ain't exactly trying to stop it. As a matter of fact, they show how you can get rewarded if you continue to do it in certain ways.
Ooh, keep going, Leroy. Come on.
Now, you know, we're blessed because we have a president who has exposed the other presidents that preceded him. We got a president right now that exposes the people around power, not only in this country, but in others.
Keep going.
That the leadership that you see in many of these countries, in the military and in the elite circles, they represent these narcissistic tendencies, whether or not they're diagnosed, along with psychopathic tendencies.
Come on. I'm listening.
And they are actually recruited I mean, literally, the military will actually look for the trait, even though it only exists in 1% of the population in terms of psychopathy. More females than males, by the way. The military literally hunts out the trait to try to find out where I can place you. Are you a quiet psychopath? I need you to be an assassin. Are you a louder psychopath? I need you to be leading the joint.
A general.
A general. What's this guy that got up there? They say is totally unqualified right now. He's a YouTuber. Trump has him up. He speaks a lot. I don't know what the hell. I don't even know if he know or even care if he know what he's talking about.
I know.
Straight narcissist. Straight I mean, just oozing narcissism, and was literally chosen to be in front of the people for that reason. So we can't just, like you said, when you're talking about marrying and burying, you're marrying yourself to these ideas, and you call yourself trying to bury them, but you never all the way put all the dirt on because part of that is what you like. You know what I mean? Yeah, you know what I mean? I'm just saying these traits are there because Nikki hit it on the head. Some of this stuff allows me to be the victim. Some of this stuff allows me to make sure I can always blame you. Some of this stuff allows you to take the load of leadership, of taking the out front position, the out loud position, the shine position. It allows me to say, woe is me. You know, you always taking the spotlight. Oh, well, why would you do that? I wouldn't have did that way. Oh, well, I can't believe he would do this to me, girl. You know, I mean, I don't know why she always acts this way. It allows me to blame somebody. You know what I'm saying?
Come on.
I mean, I'm not. Am I out of bounds so far?
No, sir. No, sir.
Okay.
You just said the victim always must be perceived as the one with perpetually clean hands. I hear you, brother. Keep cooking.
Yes. So mind you, this narcissism, that's a societal thing. First of all, the reason why you see more of it today coming out of more people's mouths because they learned a new word. Oh. They don't really know what the word means. Because they would take accountability if they really knew what it meant. But they don't really know what the word. They don't even know about the legends and the myths that accompanies narcissism. They just heard the term on the internet floating around, and so they got, run with it. Yeah. Okay. But there's a disproportionate amount of psychopathic narcissists in leadership positions. This is nothing new, by the way.
Right.
But it's much more common, especially when the social guardrails are broken down in the institutions, the family, is less extended family models. Your support circles have been broken. You've watched your teachers that used to be proxy parents. Now they on eggshells. You got your leaders, your pastors, your politicians, and your parents have been exposed publicly, whether it was drugs or women or money or whatever it was. They got exposed publicly. So your whole generation grew up watching the people that they love, that's supposed to be in charge, be exposed for their hypocrisy.
Oh, you mean
so you lose faith.
So you mean like starting a war, kidnapping another sovereign country's president while not dealing with the Epstein files? Oh, finish. Go ahead.
Epstein, by the way, is a recruited narcissist.
Oh, yeah. Keep going. I'm listening.
Epstein is a recruited psychopath who then recruited and blackmailed other people who wanted to get in on the party. You don't talk about Diddy. Leave Diddy alone. Right. He is romper room child's play compared to what Epstein is doing.
Right.
Because Epstein is doing it on a world stage with money coming from multiple countries.
Right.
From CIA and Mossad and from MI6.
Right.
Okay, James Bond type stuff is James Bond would have been one of the people that went to Epstein's island to interface with what he wanted to learn before he goes somewhere else and murder somebody.
Right.
Okay.
Epstein
is the middleman for these things. He's set up to be that, by the way.
Yes, Epstein was just the club promoter.
Right, exactly.
We want to talk to the clientele, right? Who's the clientele?
That's right. And he's chosen for his traits. His trait is narcissism and psychopathy or psychopathy. Okay? Now, they don't always go together, but when it comes to power, there's a disproportionate amount of people with that trait, even though they represent a small amount of in the society. I mean, it's only 1% psychopath, and most of those are women.
Whoa.
So they're not in a leadership position. So that means if many of the men, not most, if many of the men in leadership are psychopaths and they represent less than half of the 1% that are, that's a disproportionate number of psychopaths in leadership positions across the country and the nation and the globe.
So
something about a psychopath can rise to the top because they're disassociated from their emotions and they know how to put the mask on to get what they want.
No,
and they're not concerned about morality and ethics.
Now I need you to go deeper. So how do they view the masses of people that are under their control or even under their protection? Do they see them as food? How do they see these people?
Well, if you read the Torah, not your Torah, your Talmud, it give you some insight.
Man, you better not go to the Talmud. No, listen.
We got to get to the psychology before it became the Western version of something that's incomplete from the African, right?
So
the Talmud comes in the middle of that, doesn't it?
Come on,
the Talmud is older than the Torah, by the way. You got to understand that the origins of the Talmud is older than the Torah. The origins, not the real deal, but I mean the origins, okay?
I hear you,
Start off as magic before it becomes I know that's dangerous right there, but
you mean like
I'm just saying, right, your first psychology is wrapped in spirituality and then becomes religion. Your first quote-unquote psychology in the Western world. The original psychology is African.
Right.
And it had a whole different meaning in terms of healing.
Right.
This one right here is designed for control. So they took some stuff out on purpose because they couldn't comprehend what spirituality was and the connection to the divine source and force. So this thing right here it was incomplete from the beginning. And so when you start labeling people and label them in a way that's separated from the other things that create them, you come up with a term called narcissism.
Narcissists. Someone who fell in love with their own reflection.
And right?
drowned.
And they fall over themselves, right?
Right.
He falls over himself. And notice he attracted more and more women, and he rejected more and more women because he was so much in love with himself.
Woo! Keep going. Keep going.
And I don't know what that is, but it makes women go crazy. Because he looks good. He know he look good. He walks with his head up, his shoulders back, chest out. He's focused on making himself look better at all times. And people love that confidence. It's magnetic. And even if it's a false confidence, the confidence magnetism attracts people who have less of it in themselves. They want to be around it. They want to see. That's why they make such quote-unquote good leaders.
Oh, my
right?
goodness. Stay right there.
Even if they don't have no leadership genes, they ain't read none of Maxwell's book. They never read Obert Shaka's book. They don't know nothing about leadership in the truest sense, but they do know what they want, and they'll sacrifice you to get it.
Stay right there. Don't go nowhere, Leroy. You done brought Inglewood. Man, 2026 is on complete fire. The voice of reason. I told you I wasn't going to let up. Here we go.
Let's talk about how some of y'all are peace warriors until the person that got hurt is someone you don't like. It's very interesting how suddenly the crowd that screams nonviolence turns into fight night. You say all violence is wrong, but when someone you disagree with, it's not violence, it's justice. This is hypocrisy. And this is what moral inconsistency looks like. And it's extremely confusing for the younger generation. When you feel so righteous about your case that you justify bad behavior, when your identity is so tied to your side being right, you start to forget what you even stand for. When you feel powerless, we start to create new rules, not to heal, but to dominate. And then we find different ways to dress it all up and call it accountability when it's really backflips and avoiding accountability. You have to understand something here and really zoom in, because a lot of us, we're just reenacting the trauma we came from. The very systems that broke you, you're out here reenacting. Just help me understand something, because if your morality only applies and you're comfortable, this is no longer morale anymore. It's just selective outrage. And it's manipulative. And I can smell some of you on your close. Hi, found you.
Hey, wait a minute. She said I can smell some of y'all. Ladies and gentlemen, the voice of reason is on complete fire tonight. I don't know if you know, but it is a different kind of fire tonight. Maybe a lava. Maybe it's not the juicy lava from Kilauea. It's more Mount Serrat, or maybe even Mount Pinatubo. The pyroclastic flows are really crazy right now. Let me tell you something. It's electrocution via elocution. We gonna burn you up tonight. The voice of reason is doing it in a major way. My brother Leroy is on the line. He's cooking with the coldest, rarest, most refined grease I've ever seen a chef use. Leroy, get back in here, brother. What are your final thoughts on this thing?
Yes. Thank you so much, man. I thank you for continue to do what you do. Wonderful topic for the new year.
Thank you, brother.
I'm just going to run through a brief repeat and close.
Yes.
You know, there was once upon a time, most people would not have dreamed of a day where people would consider normative 50 Shades of Gray.
Mm-hmm.
And when you have your societal and institutional guardrails torn down and shaming becomes an issue, blaming becomes an issue, parents are not parents, pastors, foibles are exposed, presidents are walking around naked, whether you're talking about Nixon or Trump right now, right? Just naked, right? Exposed. Henry Kissinger types who just do all type of evil, wicked dirt, Epstein files. Nobody want to really dig in because too many names on all sides are involved. And then you start talking about what you're doing in your bedroom and the person you take it to the movie theater and you try to put a ring on something. I mean, come on, man. This is a function of the society. But on the nature side, is nothing uncommon in the animal kingdom to be attracted to power.
Right.
There's nothing unfamiliar in the natural animal kingdom to be attracted to confidence. There's nothing inappropriate of being attracted to beauty and flair. And so that part is natural. But of course, the human is supposed to be a head on the body of a lion, and you're supposed to gain self-mastery, and that's what less than 15% of the population does.
Come on, Spinks. So, I see you.
So if I can't see myself as I truly am, because I'm going to do everything I can to get out of the way of that, and then society doesn't really promote that, of teaching me really how to do that, like step by step, then I'm left to find it on my own. And not only do I not know what I'm doing, but I typically don't have the courage.
Wow.
To stick it through. It's why I don't have a support system,
Right.
Finally, Vegeta, Dragon Ball Z.
Wait, stay right there.
Wonderful life lesson.
No, stay right there. We're going to get that on the other side. We need the Vegeta story to breathe. I don't want you to rush it. We only got 10 seconds. So when we come forward, Leroy from Inglewood going to close it with Vegeta. I already know what this is. Dragon Ball Z. Let's get it. Wait. Listen, Jody was cold. Who was that other group? Starpoint? There's a group called Starpoint. And I forgot the name of the song, but it was the same kind of, let me be the one. Listen, this was a time when it was much simpler, right? Come on. The voice of reason, his playlist is in here cutting up.
I think you have to be okay with losing, right? Because that's the easiest way to fall into victimhood, right? You have to be okay with losing.
And changing the perspective on losing, yes.
Yes, because I remember when I was in this coaching program, they were like, winning and losing is an illusion. And I was like, no, it's not. I told you I was a very different person. I was like, no, it's not. Like, if you win, you win. If you lose, you lose. Like, winning and losing is not an illusion, but it really is, because that's how you grab the lessons. Oftentimes when we fall into like that victim state, we start to tell ourselves, I'm losing right now. Even when people listen to my content, I don't think it's so much that they didn't hear what I'm saying. It's more so she's telling me where I'm not at right now. She's telling me that I'm underdeveloped. She's telling me that I don't have the capacity.
Once again, I'm criticized.
Yes, once again, I'm being criticized. And so now I am losing.
Man, I love Raquel Hopkins' work. We're reaching out to her too. They all got to come to the voice of reason. Listen, this is good stuff tonight. And I want to get the final Vegeta point that my brother Leroy from the City of Champions, Inglewood, California, was getting ready to deliver. Brother Leroy, come back in, brother, and bring it in.
I'm gonna close it in. I'm circling the runway. First of all, Nikki hit multiple points head on and deserves credit for it on the last end of the first hour. Mm-hmm. Let me just make this point here. After mentioning Kissinger and Epstein and Ayn Rand and Machiavelli and Huxley, who are very self-centered and narcissistic, or at least narcissistic enablers, right, with some psychopathy. Mm-hmm. Vegeta, he recognized that the prophecy of achieving a Super Saiyan form is stated that one must be pure of heart. Mm-hmm. And while Vegeta was doing all this push-ups and sit-ups and bench presses and working out and just really dedicated towards being the best that he could be and commitment to excellence in his execution of his technique, he recognized something. He said, I'm going to be pure of heart, but I'm going to be pure evil. Mm. And he rested in that self-examination that recognized he was not a good guy. Mm-hmm. But he didn't need to be a good guy to be pure of heart. Mm-hmm. He just needed to be true to himself while he worked on becoming the best version of himself to achieve Super Saiyan. I think that reality has been promoted more today societally in the Western world than doing it the other ways that showed you could have power and serve the people through servant leader methodologies.
Stop right there really quickly. Ladies and gentlemen, if you've never heard of Vegeta and Super Saiyan, my brother is breaking down a wildly popular cartoon that many of your kids might know about. And it's called Dragon Ball Z. Super Saiyan is this energy state that these particular beings go into when they're up leveling. It's a type of Japanimation or anime cartoon. Very powerful stuff, and the analogies that the brother Leroy is making are right on point. You're basically saying Vegeta locked into the dark side of the Force because he understood that is who he was essentially. But now I'm taking your metaphor and I'm saying, are you saying the majority of the people are becoming this way because we put narcissists, i.e. Vegetas, on pedestals?
There is no great accomplishment to be structurally sound in an insane asylum. I'm misquoting, but you know where I went.
I know. Mm-hmm.
All right. You fix it, all right? I'm going to get off this phone. You fix it, okay?
Hey, man, I love you, man.
Fix that for me.
I appreciate you. Guess what you just did, brother?
Man, I'm honored to bring the City of Champions back in the building with the truth teller of the hour. You're going to face your mirror.
Yeah.
Andy.
Yeah.
On the ones and twos and zone coming through. It's you, baby.
My. Man, I appreciate you. Thank you for calling in, man. Listen, the voice of reason. When I come forward, you already know what I'm going to do. I'm going to land this plane. Let's get it. God has entrusted me with a voice. And no, I don't have to be perfect. And no, I don't have to have any. God said, get out there and talk to the people. Talk to them about what? Intimate relationships. God said, disrupt their delusions about love. That's what God told me to do. God said, and you ain't got to be perfect to do it. They're calling out your humanity because they need something to attack you with so they can deflect the truth that I put in your mouth. Yes, you're flawed, but so are they. So they should be able to relate to you. Get over there and talk to these folk. That's what God told me. Do you understand? I'm not going to cater to your superficial desires when it comes to relationships. I'm going to tell you the truth about it. Are you in a reenactment? If so, when was the mold created? Who created the mold? Oh, it's not important who created. If it was your mother, you have forgiveness work to do. If it was your father, you have forgiveness work to do. Forgiveness is really releasing, letting go. Letting go without recompense, without repayment. That's the highest form of forgiveness. Do you understand? Not for them, but for you. You're not doing it for them. You're keeping your soul. Do you understand? If you don't deal with that, right? That psycho-spiritual tumor, if you don't deal with it, right? It expresses itself. It leaks into your adult relationships. See? So Zoe comes here to press you, not to impress you. Did you see the dress my wife had on? No. That's not Zoe's gig. Did you see the car Zoe pulled up in? No, that's not Zoe's gig. Zoe's gig is to upset you, unnerve you, rattle you. Do you understand? That's what it is. That's how you disrupt the pattern. You've heard us say it before. You're in a reenactment. And even if it's toxic, you'll go back to it because it's familiar. We're here to disrupt all of that. It's 2026. What do you think the 4 horsemen are going to do when they come, if you believe that belief system? It's disruption. It's disruption of corruption. I call it electrocution via elocution. Do you see? Modern culture loves the idea of a narcissism epidemic. Why? Because it offers a clean villain. If we have a well-defined villain, we're off the hook for being co-creators of intimate realities we ultimately claim we don't want. And it fits neatly into a consumer society that thrives on spectacle, outrage, and simplified enemies. But the data already complicates that story. While early studies suggested rising narcissism among younger cohorts, more recent longitudinal and global analysis show something far less dramatic. Narcissistic traits fluctuate, often decline with age, and do not rise uniformly across cultures or generations. In many cases, constant comparison, visibility pressure, and algorithmic exposure actually erode self-esteem rather than inflate it. So if narcissism is not exploding at the trait level, why does it feel omnipresent at the relational level? Because perception is not distribution. What has increased is not narcissism itself, but exposure, amplification, and tolerance. We now live inside attention economies that reward grandiosity, certainty, self-promotion, and dominance. Platforms do not amplify attunement. They amplify confidence theater. They do not reward humility. They reward visibility. They do not train nervous systems for reciprocity. They train them for performance. Get your tap dancing ass out of here. I don't want no performer. I don't want an intimate performer. I don't want a soft shoe lover. I want the truth. I can't have the truth if you won't embrace your truth. Do you see? Right? They train them for performance. And here's where the conversation turns really uncomfortable. People do not merely encounter narcissists. They orbit them. They stay with them. They adapt to them. They explain who they are to others. They spiritualize. They romanticize. Why? Because for many nervous systems out there, egocentricity feels familiar. Maybe it was your mama. Maybe it was your daddy. I don't know who it was, but it felt familiar, even if it hurt. Attachment does not operate at the level of belief. It operates at the level of regulation. The body does not ask, is this healthy? The body asks, is this recognizable? Yeah. If you think for one moment, I'm going to let up off y'all in 2026. Can we play Crime Wave on the way out, 50 Cent? Listen, I got to play something that'll let you. I'm not going to let up, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, listen, tomorrow night when I come in here, just imagine what I got in store for you. The Voice of Reason, 2026, locked and loaded. Let's get it.